Democratic states are suffering from a very bad case of do as I say and not as I do.
Migrants dropped off in Martha's Vineyard and outside the vice president's D.C. residence. The move, courtesy of the governors of Florida and Texas, a political message to blue states. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been busing people from the border for months, but now Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is joining him. He sent 2 planes full of about 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard, the Massachusetts island known for its wealth and its liberal views.
Bringing diversity to you. Congratulations, Martha's Vineyard and DC. Although, as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said, the good citizens didn't exactly embrace the new arrivals.
All those people in D.C. and New York were beating their chests when Trump was president, saying they were so proud to be sanctuary jurisdictions, saying how bad it was to have a secure border. The minute even a small fraction of what those border towns deal with every day is brought to their front door, they all of a sudden go berserk, and they're so upset that this is happening.
And neither, it must be said, did the liberal media.
On a literal island that doesn't have any infrastructure designed to help them at all. In a word, it's inhumane.
Those immigration attorneys here on the ground are now helping the migrants get their paperwork in order. And they tell me they anticipate there could be serious legal consequences for whoever planned what they're calling this political stunt.
David, Republicans are looking for an issue that can energize voters. They may worry some Democrats are making gains as the election nears and that abortion may hurt some Republican candidates. But they are hoping immigration may give them an opening.
Because it's the stuff that makes Republican hearts go pitter-patter.
You know, we have a handful of right-wing nutjob governors that are manifesting themselves in this way and feeding more red meat to their base and alienating their middle-of-the-road Chamber of Commerce Republicans.
In any event, the residents of Martha's Vineyard decided they'd had enough diversity after 44 hours, and the migrants were evacuated to a military base with the assistance of the National Guard. But surely there was some room for them on the island.
The delicious exposure of the hypocrisy of these rich liberal elites. I mean, Martha's Vineyard, 60% of the people who own property there are vacationers, are people who come just for the summer, meaning that 60% of the housing right now on Martha's Vineyard is vacant, right? These huge mansions for these people to say, we don't have the housing for 50 migrants while having lawn signs on their million-dollar properties that say immigrants are welcome here, and then turning around and deporting 50 people.
You know, there's something about this that is void of humanity, and using folks as political pawns, dare I say traumatizing, migrants in this way, making it into a public spectacle.
I'm not quite sure why it would be traumatizing to take a visit to Martha's Vineyard when, as we just heard, people vacation there and it's a lovely place to go.
Now into the spin doctors in the form of CNN, which writes, during their whirlwind visit to Martha's Vineyard, roughly 50 migrants left an inedible impression on their accidental hosts. The media giant wrote, and then there was this.
So it was only 2 days, but there was a real connection made between the people here on Martha's Vineyard and those Venezuelan migrants.
My heart breaks for them because they were not the first priority. They're in my heart forever.
Kosher, interesting story. I found it rather funny how the media was playing it. I did not think that they were characterising it in the correct way, but it was a stunt, but I think it was probably an effective stunt.
It was. Some people have said, did it go too far, or are these border town governors going too far? And I would say, no, it doesn't go too far. And most of the American public thinks what's too far is you've got a country with a population of 300 million, and reportedly as high as 30 million is the number of people in that population right now that came to the country illegally. And under Biden, in the 2 years of his presidency so far, 3.4 million apprehensions have occurred at the border. That's more than what occurred in the full 8 years of the Obama presidency when Biden was vice president. So this is a crisis, and it is an effective PR stunt, I think, to do that. As a policy matter, I don't love it, Jack, I have to say, because what's happening is these planes of people are taken further inland, and they'll scatter and they'll never be found again, and their hearing will happen in 2 years, and we'll never know. So they're sort of further into the amplifying kind of the problem of illegal immigration. But I think insofar as a goal is to redirect the attention of the media on this issue and how hypocritical it is for the northern states to say it's no problem, declare themselves sanctuary cities, and then put the brunt of the burden of that on these border towns that are having 100x that proportion of illegal migrants coming into their communities and completely changing the landscape. I think it is very effective, and as you can see, it really got press pickup all around the world, and everybody's talking about it. So in that way, I think it was an effective strategy.